Today I want to talk to you guys about how to harvest basil and how to maintain it. So there's a little bit of nuance to it. It's not that complicated, but a couple simple things you can do that will ensure you have a steady crop that increases its yield over time. That's coming up next on The Urban Farmer. Okay, basil, it's really important to manage it a certain way. So this stuff got a little bit haggard. We had a couple cold nights, but it'll bounce back. But basically, what you want to do as your plant grows is you want to prune it in a way that it keeps getting bushier. And so the rule of thumb I start with is when I have a plant in the ground, I will pick the first top. So when the plant first goes in and it grows past 3 nodes, you pick the first one down. I'll go in my greenhouse and show you a couple ones that we're going to plant next to me here, next to this one, to show you what I mean. Okay, so when this plant goes in the ground, after about a week or so, what I'll do is I will pick it right here. I'll pinch that off, and what it'll do is it'll force it to send out 2 more shoots that look like the same thing, and then a week later I'll pick those 2 shoots. Then those will multiply again. Then I'll go the next week and I'll pick those 4 shoots, and then it gets exponential from there to the point where once you get the plant really bushy, you don't really have to worry as much about what nodes you're picking. This is at least just my experience. You get to a point where it gets bushy enough and you can kind of just pick whatever's available and it'll just keep going. But I find the first pick is really important. Again, I like to go down, so there's 2 nodes, 1, 2, I'll pick it down to that. You know, you could do that one too, but these are a little top heavy, so I want them to get robust. So that's why I would prune it there, and then it'll just multiply and multiply and multiply, so much to the point where your yield will double every week for a period of time. Basil is a crop that I don't do a lot of, but it's something I like to grow because for a bed on its own, it's quite high value. I find when I start the season, I'm getting a really high price when very few other farmers have it. As it gets into summer, everybody has it, and it becomes almost free. You know, it's hard to sell at that point. So I've always followed the strategy that I want to keep my foot in the marketplace for it, but I don't want to be competing in a saturated market. So I just grow a little bit of it just to have as a garnish, and that's basically my strategy. I used to grow a ton of it. In fact, this plot, before I'd even moved into the house, I had about maybe 6 beds of basil, and we'd harvest 1 bed a week, and it was always too much. It was great in the spring, but then by the time the summer came around, it was horrible. And you know, if you're willing to have some sacrificial beds, you can have a strategy where you plant out, say, 6 beds, and if you can have it ready by April and May, you're just picking it heavy. You're getting low yields, but you're getting a lot, and then by the time summer comes around, just ditch 4 of those beds and just go down to 2, so that you're not competing in a saturated market, and then have another crop again for the fall that if you can keep in a greenhouse, especially a heated greenhouse, into the winter, you can really maximize your potential that you can make on the product. So I'll just strap on the head cam and you can see how I'm harvesting this. Okay, notice that as I'm picking here, I'm just kind of going through and I'm pulling the top bits off each plant. So whatever I see is the top of the nodes I'm picking. So at this point, this has been picked, this is the 3rd time. So I've already gone through and picked the top, which was the top of the 2nd node, like I showed you in the greenhouse, and now I'm going through and I'm picking the tops of all the other ones that have butterflied out after that. And so you can see I just collect bunches in my hands and then throw it back into the tote. So the basic idea with any harvesting is that you want to just go through and get as much stuff in your hands before you make another movement back to your tote. That's just a more effective way to harvest for time. But the crop is still pretty small at this point. Like in another month, there's going to be a lot more, and then I'll be able to pick probably 8 pickings from each plant, whereas right now I might be doing 2 or 4 at best. So this is kind of what we're harvesting and what we're looking for. I never go and just pick the leaves off. It's too much work. You know, you're looking to have not too much stem, but there's a nice leaf to stem ratio there that a little bit of stem there isn't a big deal. So if you guys have found that helpful, hit the subscribe button right now. Love to hear your comments and questions below. And if you want to see more stuff like this, please start again. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, hit the subscribe button right now. Like and share the videos with your friends. And of course, check out my online course, profitableurbanfarming.com, and my book at theurbanfarmer.co. If you'd like to make a donation to the show, it's always appreciated. You can do that at theurbanfarmer.co/support. All right, thanks for watching.